forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
A man out on bond for a murder charge was recently pulled over in South Carolina. Officers seized $9 million in cocaine from his car, along with nearly $200,000 in cash. Sheldon Jr. Alexander was accused of speeding in Florence County, South Carolina. When deputies pulled him over, the sheriff says they found 54 kilos of cocaine, a handgun, and all that cash. Alexander, who is in the country illegally, is again in jail awaiting a bond hearing. Alexander was arrested on a felony charge in Beverly Hills just last year.
Well, we are learning more details about a traffic stop along I-95 that deputies say produced about $9 million worth of cocaine. Florence County deputies say they found nearly 120 pounds of cocaine after pulling over a car for speeding. Tonight, WMBF News reporter Samuel Shelton fills us in after learning what led to that search.
Major Mike Nelm with the Florence County Sheriff's Office says traffic stops like this one are playing a part in making surrounding communities safer. Florence County deputies say on Monday, 34-year-old Sheldon Alexander was traveling north on I-95. Alexander was speeding, which led to a normal traffic stop. But during that stop,
a positive canine alert around the vehicle provided the probable cause for deputies to search the vehicle.
During the search, deputies found 118 pounds of cocaine, $182,000 in cash, and a gun. Deputies estimate the street value of the cocaine to be around $9 million. Nunn says these illegal narcotics drive a vast majority of violent and property crimes. But Florence County deputies try to intervene as much as they can.
You know, anytime you can get drugs of this nature off the street, it's something that you want to do, because those drugs are headed somewhere to some neighborhood, if not here, somewhere else.
Alexander was arrested and charged with possession of cocaine, along with a lengthy list of other charges.
Was determined to be in the country illegally, and he was out on bond for a murder charge in California. So, needless to say, this was a very productive traffic stop. And obviously, some of that cocaine was headed other places. Some of it may have been headed here.
A bond hearing was held for Alexander this morning where no bail was granted. He will remain at the Florence County Sheriff's Office for the time being. In Florence, Samuel Shelton, WMBF News.
A man charged in a $9 million cocaine bust in Florence won't be getting out of jail anytime soon. A judge has denied his bond, and police say he's an illegal alien from Trinidad, already out on bond for a murder charge in California. ABC 15's Tanya Brown was the only reporter in court today for his bond hearing. She shows us what happened.
34-year-old Sheldon Jr. Alexander stood before a judge Wednesday morning in Florence. He's charged in one of the largest drug busts in the history of Florence County. Deputies stopped him earlier this week for speeding on I-95 North in Florence. Major Michael Nunn with the Florence County Sheriff's Office shared some details with me regarding the traffic stop.
After the stop took place, these deputies are specially trained to recognize the signs of narcotics trafficking. This is dangerous work, and these guys put their lives on the line every day. This was a huge payoff.
Nunn says a search of the car led to 118 pounds of cocaine, $182,000 in cash, and a gun. The street value of that cocaine is worth $9 million. Police say further investigation found that Alexander is an illegal alien from Trinidad and was already out on bond for murder in California. A judge has denied his bond on the drug trafficking charges out of Florence.
We contend that the trafficking of narcotics on a level like this, an individual would truly be a danger to the community.
Alexander was quiet during much of that brief hearing this morning, but did have a question.
Can I ask a question now?
What's your question?
Was this the reason for my bond being denied?
The judge told him his bond would have to be set by a circuit court judge. In the meantime, police tell me they're working with federal immigration officials concerning Alexander's status in this country. For now, he remains behind bars in Florence County. Tanya Brown, ABC 15 News.
Man, who is this dude? I'm starting to wonder how he's so unlucky, but kind of lucky at the same time. What up, though? It's your comrade Popalot. We back on the west side with it. We spending a lot of time in Beverly Hills. And for real shit, it's a little bit better than some of the places we normally frequent. But y'all don't get too comfortable. We gotta hop in the whip and drive 2,500 miles east to Florence County. And we gotta do the speed limit and can't smoke, if you know what I mean. Now today, I'm gonna try to do my best. And I do want to emphasize, I'm going to try to do my best to explain to you the story of a guy by the name of Sheldon Jr. Alexander. And when I say do my best, I say that because this case has me baffled and bamboozled. And I'm definitely going to need some crowd participation in the comment box. Now, one of the first things that I really want y'all help with, and this is for my people in Los Angeles, or anybody that has ever spent time or been a resident of Los Angeles. Has any one of you guys or anyone you know ever found themselves in an unfortunate circumstance where either you or them found themselves charged with homicide? And even if not, maybe you have some knowledge on what the process is like. Things like, what are their ideas of a speedy trial? Or how long would you have to sit locked up before you can see a judge? And more importantly, how does bond work in those situations? And the reason I ask that is because that will put me closer to figuring out the saga of Junior Alexander. Because just as the information stated earlier, Alexander looks like he was arrested for a murder on April 15th, 2001 by the Beverly Hills Police Department. And in addition of the online publication Beverly Hills Weekly that was printed for the week of April 22nd through April 28th, 2021, and a section of the publication titled Detention and Arrest Summary, it would show an arrest for Sheldon Alexander on that same day of April 15th, 2021 for murder, torture, false imprisonment, assault with a deadly weapon other than a firearm, drawing or exhibiting a weapon in a rude or threatening manner, and threats to commit crimes resulting in death or great bodily injury. Now, what I found interesting was there was a 35-year-old by the name of Alan Keith McCarthy. Looks like he was arrested on the same exact date with the same exact charges, but I was unable to locate his arrest. Now, it did show that Sheldon Alexander did receive a bond for that murder case, and he was released 6 days after being arrested on April 21st, 2021. It also showed that his next court date for that murder beef would be on May 7th, 2021. So we're going to fast forward more than a year later, 3 days before Christmas, December 22nd, 2022. And just like my Uncle Ox would say in one of our favorite street classics, Belly, remember me, I tell you owe me one, nigga? I know y'all remember that trip we talked about earlier. It would be on that 2,500-mile trip from Beverly Hills to Florence County, South Carolina, a place that sounds like the police be round here, might I add. Now, in an act that I could only call irresponsible, if I had to use another word, I would say ridiculous, Junior Alexander would find himself pulled over at mile marker 157 on I-95 for speeding of all things. Now, I'm going to name all the reasons why that was detrimental, and I'm going to start with the obvious ones. 1, we out on bond. Why we speeding? Do we even belong outside of the state? We know we don't need no police contact. And I'm sure y'all know the saying that when it rains, it's tsunamis, because when police would search the vehicle, they would find right around $200,000, a handgun, along with 118 pounds of cocaine that roughly estimates to right around 58 kilograms, with the authorities saying that it had a street value of right around $9 million. And even though all of that stuff happened, like a murder, kingpin level narcotics bust, I'm still so confused about things like the bail, the speeding, the murder case itself, as he was supposed to be back in court way before he was stopped across the country with 50 bricks. And more important than anything, what type of time is Brody looking at? Now make sure y'all tap that red subscribe and bell right under this video so y'all know when the mob is sliding through. Y'all head downstairs, run that comment box up. Y'all let me know who the world need to know from your city. Y'all let me know what I got wrong, where I haven't been, and what I need to talk about. If y'all need to tap in with me directly, y'all get at me on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And as always, shit got Popalot. We be back in the short. Salute to the mob.